So, pressure, huh? Because the last banner session seemed to be very touching, emotional, beautiful, and now we're getting something so like intangible and a little bit dry. So our job is to make it exciting, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise
sure.
we're leaving the room.
Yeah.
So, hello everyone. My name is Vicky, and I'm here today to talk about a food tech. So the concept of food tech, I believe, is very vast. So it can be ranging from agricultural productions, agricultural technologies, and then food productions, unto like distribution, and so the new concept of food. But the thing is, because it's such a vast spectrum, so there's a lot of ground for a lot of startup, SME, also like MNC to look into it. So we have today on the panel a new solution to define how a food consumption can be can be conducted. And then we have a solution from Caramel about how to disrupt the supply chains. And the role going to be the moderator, but at the same time, I would love to try a small part to be a panelist to talk about agricultural practice and alternative protein, which is a new source of food. So why we give the floor to each of you, and then the last will be me talking about what you are doing, where you are right now, and what would be your next.
Hi everyone, I'm Tony. Currently I'm Managing Director of Cloudit. So Cloudit is one of the biggest cloud kitchen in Southeast Asia. We are operating in Philippines and Vietnam. So a little bit about the model of cloud kitchen. So you know, food delivery is like rocket growing. Since in Vietnam, is appeared with delivery now is in 2016, very new. Even like with economic downturn, food delivery is still growing as like 2 digits in Vietnam, and from beginning of the year till now. So with that industry growing, we are Cloud Kitchen. We adapt with the F&B. So Cloud Kitchen, we doing delivery first. So we do a lot of takeaway. We are aiming like 1 million dish like per month in year end. But not only for the food delivery. So we are trying to have like reverse the model. So every restaurant we go from offline to online. Cloud Kitchen in reverse direction. We go online to offline. So in our current portfolio, now we have nearly 40 restaurants online only. And we have 10 restaurants like offline. So with our experience, we have nearly 80 brands on our per kitchen. So we know what we should go offline. We save a lot of cost of trying model. So that's what we are doing at Cloud.
Hi, my name is Taku. I'm the CEO and founder of Cameleo. We are doing B2B e-commerce for F&B business. So basically, we are building the whole supply chain from upstream to downstream to minimize all the cost within the supply chain and wastage as well, and supply to restaurant. But we are actually not only supplying to the restaurant, but also like a supermarket, convenience store, hospital, canteen, factory, whatever the business which need a food ingredient, basically we supply. So we do have our we're supplying around the 2,000 SKU, number of items. We are serving around the 3,000 business active in Vietnam. I think in the tech-wise, we have a tech team. We are building the tech, but we are not actually selling the tech. So we are kind of tech-enabled business. I mean, if we want to grow faster, without the tech, we cannot keep growing, right? So basically, we define ourselves as a tech-enabled business in Vietnam. Yeah, thank you.
My turn. So Cricket One, we are specializing in farming and processing crickets, like the insects, into different food and pet food ingredients. We have our products sold to more than 3 countries across 4 continents, and including Europe, where we are the only non-EU authorized novel food allowed to market and sell cricket protein to entire the union. And then over a year ago, we also decided to spin off our FMCG retail business. And then the visions of that business is to regenerate the convenient food concept. So whatever you have in terms of convenient food, like snack, instant food, ready to eat, ready to cook, we're going to regenerate it to make it more nutritious and then healthier. So there's a small stations out there giving out those like cricket high protein chips. More than welcome to try. So straight to the point. So in the situation right now where climate change is really start hitting us and we can feel it, the food, like the food production is getting affected heavily, and then the failures, also the broken downs of the supply chains management logistics system, as well as a shortage of labor. But then the most important thing is, like in the F&B industry, also in the food sectors, there's so many variants, minor costs that we need to control. And if it's out of control, it's accumulated into our margins. So how do you see the roles of technologies in preventing, improving, and solving your problem as well as the daily operation? Especially now we understand optimization is the key of maintaining our margins. Shall I start with Taku first, because you are helping F&B to solve that problem?
Yeah, sure. So basically, the supply chain in Vietnam, we started from the vegetable supply chain, by the way. So before I founded a Camarel, I was been doing the restaurant business as well. And I realized that most of the veggies basically are, most of the restaurant buy from the dealer in the wet market. But they also go to the bigger wet market overnight, and they purchase. And then the bigger wet market basically got supply from the smaller market in far away, like in Darat or somewhere. So there is a bunch of middlemen in between. By doing so, basically the cost increasing, but also during the journey of logistics, there is a wastage as well. And that's actually fluctuating costing and increasing the costing. And also that makes sometimes we don't know where this veggie is actually come from, right? So everyone say, oh, this is from Dalat. But actually, it's a lot of from China, right? Actually from China, from the truck, they pass the Dalat. So they transform to be from Dalat, right, sometime. So I think there is a lot of non-transparency in the supply chain at all. So it depends on that dealer. But sometimes that dealer doesn't know where it comes from too, right? So I would like to build a complete supply chain from upstream to downstream so that we can exactly say this bishop comes from where and where. And to do so, we need to accumulate a lot of volume from many restaurants. Because from my experience, even though I have like 20, 30 stores in Ho Chi Minh, I don't have enough volume to directly work with the farmer. Normally the farmer, they cannot deliver to Ho Chi Minh. Or if they deliver to Ho Chi Minh, they ask you to, hey, can you order one time like 1 ton, right? But no restaurant can buy 1 ton at one time every day, right? And vegetable is very important for the freshness, so they want to buy every day. So I try to accumulate all the volume. And then with the volume, we set up the vegetable collection center in Dalat. And we directly work with the farmer. And sometimes there is a vegetable which is not common in the market. So we do even contract farm, right? So we support the money for the farmer to farm. And then we buy pretty much everything. And we supply straight away to Ho Chi Minh. So we got like veggies from like the farm every day, around the morning until the afternoon. And then we pack into the cold truck. And we deliver to Ho Chi Minh overnight. And from the next morning, we deliver out to the customer already so that we can minimize the time of supply chain and we can minimize the wastage. But to make it happen, we have to supply to a lot of restaurants. And imagine you get ordered by phone call or Zalo or texting and something. We make a lot of mistakes. In the beginning, we didn't have much tech. And then we had a lot of mistakes. We got a lot of complaints, right? And then sometimes we cannot deliver enough because we don't have enough data to forecast the demand and something. Now we have a lot of customers, so we have more and more accurate number of forecasting data, and also we have app and website where we can minimize the order taking effort. So we have less mistake, and also customer can see in the app what is available, what is not available right now, and how much exactly the price what it looks like, right? Because sometimes suppliers say carrot, but what kind of carrot, right? Like a carrot dalat or carrot Trung right? Or something like the baby carrot, or 1 kilo, 1 pack, or 1 piece, 1 carton, a lot of things, right? So I try to minimize all those conversation, like communication loss. And then we tried our team to minimize those efforts and try to focus on communication, more important communication with the customer, like customer service. So basically the tech, as I mentioned, we are not selling tech, right? We're selling like a vegetable and meat and seafood and everything. But I think behind, we need the tech. Without the tech, we cannot grow. So that is basically that's my understanding about tech usability of our business right now.
Can you elaborate a bit more? Because I understand is like the tech here, the technologies here is very much the backbone of your business. But then, of course, it's like Caramel is not the only one doing like fulfillment, supplying for F&B sectors. What would be, let's say, is like the unit selling point, and then what is your customer benefit from your service apart from is understanding where it's coming from, so they get their supply like in time, fixed price, and so on.
Sure. So basically, unique selling point for the customer depends on the customer, but basically we understand and define as our competitive price and a stable price, and also stable supply and on-time delivery, and also we fulfill as close as 100%. But those are available with the tech, right? Without the tech, we deliver late because now we control every shipper go where and what time they arrive in when, where, and we assign which shipper go which location next time or something. And those things manually for like a few hundred orders per day or 1,000 orders per day is impossible, right? So that's basically the unique selling point we do. And I think what's the difference between we and other players? Most of the players, they do not have ability for the tech capability because, I mean, it takes a lot of effort, cost, to be honest, right? And we, as a startup, we raise the capital from investors and we spend that money for the investment for the future. But in Vietnam, it's very difficult to raise the capital, very difficult to borrow money from the bank for the startup, right? So they don't have enough capability to invest for the long term for the tech. That's why I think most of the players, they don't actually invest so much seriously on the tech, and they just focus on the short-term revenue growth. But actually, maybe in the first few months, they can grow a lot. But once they grow a lot, they have a difficulty, which is the quality. They cannot keep the quality because they have a lot of customers, but a lot of SKU, and they need a tech. But it's too late. And then they also don't have a capability to invest in the tech. They try to raise money they couldn't. So that's basically the difference between we and other players, I guess. Yeah.
Just one more small question before I move to you, Tony. Get yourself prepared, yeah? So, Taku, so you invest in tech, and then let's say it's like the cost breakdown of your investment would come to the product that your customer pays, eh? So would it give you, how could it be like cost competitive compared to other players where they do manually? Because it's like you cater a different size, but they also have like different interests in different size of a customer. Then how do you, let's say, compete to that? And where's your point of view in terms of like cost breaking down when you apply in tech?
Yeah, so I think it's always about the balance, right? In the beginning, of course, if we have a big tech team, we have a more cost. But it's not good if we charge those tech costs to all the customer, right? And then price is going to get higher. So what we do, that's why we got investment. So we have a time, we can burn money actually. So to be honest, we burn money, right? We don't make a profit for a few years, right? I mean, same as like a Glab and other people, right? If they want to build a really big company in the beginning, they invest a lot of tech for the future. For the short-term profit, we don't care, to be honest. But we are carrying like a really bigger future after 5 years, 10 years. I mean, like in 10 years later, if we become the biggest player in the market, we are okay. But if we do the same things as other player, we're not going to be the biggest for sure. Or it takes like 100 years because I cannot accelerate the business with the funding by bank or the investment, right? So I think on the surface, we kind of do the same business, like I buy and sell, and also the other player, they buy and sell. But as a philosophy base, it's very different because we are building long-term business with whole supply chain with a tech capability, while the other player, they just are chasing the profit daily, right? So I think that's basically the difference I hear.
I think next time we need to have a banner session about how to sell story of an unsexy business to investors.
Okay, sure.
So move to Tony. What is the role of tech? I understand it's also how your business operated beyond tech. Can you elaborate more on that?
So beside the food delivery by platform, so it make convenient for every user. So on the kitchen side, so you're thinking about like very good restaurant, but like if like too many people order at the same time, so it make very difficult for kitchen to operate. So now you can go into any kitchen and you can see like at least like for me it's like 3 POS over there. Mm-hmm. You have the Grab account, you have the Shopee Food account, and you have the B Food account, for example. So basically, like we gather everything into one system. That's just like one step. Another step will be like you, with the normal kitchen or restaurant, you have to put the order into your own POS, and that order will go to the kitchen. Right, and then the kitchen go back to the rider, for example. So we put everything into one system. So that's the tech team we have to operate. So some small kitchen with like few orders, so they can operate manually. But like thinking for example, our biggest kitchen now, 1,000 order per day. Cool. So thinking as the peak hour, like roughly in 1.5 hours, we have to operate like 500 orders, for example. Basically, your people cannot like put like by hand. And even more, like when we have the tech, so we going more further. So we have like, for example, in one kitchen in Vietnam right now, we have 36 brands. So multiply by 3 platforms. So if like you operating as a manually, so you need like roughly 100 mobile phone in your kitchen, and basically like cannot like operate. So we need a tech to do all of that things for us.
Understand. Thank you. So it's so strange that being a moderator that I have to answer my own questions. So for Cricket One business model, we also tackling like climate change and then food shortage. So what we do is like we introduce a new type of food source like insect protein, alternative protein, and because we are solving food problems, so the ideas of having like luxurious, fancy, rocket science technologies will not work for us. So what we have to do is that we have to optimize what's happening with the traditional animal, let's call it conventional animal farming. So we tackle from like what would be the right fit for the cricket in a different stage of growth, and then how to design and produce a farming system that can minimize human involvement. Because in animal farming or like agricultural production, the biggest element that cause risk and also cause failure of the crop would be too much human involvement, that making mistakes, and then cross-contamination and so on. So we also have developed like 5 patented technologies to very much automate the farming cycle of the cricket, the lifespan, how cricket spend their life in that farming areas, watering system, and also the harvesting machines. And also we have also like registered trade secret in terms of like feed stock. And then cricket farming, we do it inside, like in-house, and very much like full-time, full year's time. So for us, it's like technologies here is to minimize the risk, optimize the output, the input, and then reduce the waste in the harvesting. So this is where the technology is involved into agriculture productions. I have the next question for the panelists. So we all want to have tech. Everyone talk about tech. And then if you want to raise money from investor, it has to be tech. So it can be like those buzzwords like AI, machine learning, and then back then like 7, 8 years ago is like IoT, precision agriculture. One hand, the technology is available, but on the other hand, there must be challenges to deploy and to develop the technologies. So in your journeys of deploying tech, what would be the challenges? Is it like infrastructure is not ready yet, human resources, or for you is like integrating different platform? Would it be the legal aspect involved? So love to hear more your sharing on this topic. You go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to some stakeholder, the first one still money. I think the first one how we balance with the between investment and the output of the product. So for example, so if we can have more money, we can improve our UX UI for people. Like you're thinking about like the kitchen people, it's light cook. It's very like the labor is not that good to use the tech. For example, we want to make it better, but we have to balance with the investment. That is the first one. The second one is like back to the people. So in the F&B, you know, like the turnover rate is quite high comparing to other industry. So every time we have to train. So the training module is like it's really hard for the F&B right now. So if we're thinking about we have like 40 restaurants, but we don't have the good training module. It's really to train people over and over. And the third one is like seeing we still depend on the food delivery platform. So we have some ideas to improve the product, but like it's very hard to work with them because they have their own calendar. For example, we want to have the loyalty program for our own restaurant, for example. We cannot. Or like we can have like faster action for the comment they left in our restaurant. We cannot. Or how to encourage them to put the rating or get their feedback, we cannot. So we still depend on that side. We still have to work with them. So need more time. So thinking about like we are ready. So our resort over there, we pay the labor, but the platform still like not ready yet. So but we still keep our people there till they agree to do with us. So it will be like dependent with the food delivery platform as well. Yeah.
And by you, Taku?
Yeah, I think what tech can help maybe is one is reducing cost itself, mostly the labor cost, and the second is reducing mistake. It's more like efficiency, and compared to what it is in developed country like Japan or US and wherever, I think number one, the reducing the cost is not much, to be honest, because compared to what it is in the labor cost for US and Vietnam, it's big difference actually, right? US is too expensive, right? But Vietnam is maybe getting more expensive now, but still affordable, I feel. And also in Japan, even like a lot of restaurants, they shut down business because they don't have enough staff. They have a lot of customers, but they shut down business because they cannot hire enough staff, right? And this type of problem I never seen in Vietnam yet. So I think number one, the reducing the cost is not a big deal in here relatively. However, as I mentioned earlier, when you want to scale the business, you need to keep efficiency of business and then reducing the mistake of whatever, right? And those things are... It's difficult, right? Because as you grow, normally you have more and more and more people. Right? And then if you have more people, of course, training is one thing about the corporate culture and also about what about the procedure and stuff. But at the end of the day, people are people. Sometimes they forget, sometimes they mistake, right? So that happened, right? So to reduce that, I think as we grow, at some certain point, we feel it's too much. We need to deploy the tech to remove that type of chaos thing, and then the team should focus on what tech cannot help. I think tech cannot help 100% for like a service to the customer, apologize to the customer, right? And those things that sometimes happen, but that's our tech cannot do. But a lot of things tech still can do. Like tech can minimize the risk of delivery or minimize the mistake of order taking and something. Those things eventually we need to bring the job from the people to the tech. But I don't think this business cannot be 100% tech. But I think the tech is still the big part of it. Otherwise, we cannot be the successful in the future. Yeah.
Can you pretend to ask me the same question so that I don't have to answer my own questions? That's a joke.
Okay. How about you, Vicky? A tricky one.
Okay. So what we do is like we introduce something quite not normal to the mass populations. Of course, it's like there are over like 1.5 billion people out there consuming insects on a daily basis, but it's not something appealing to like daily diet for the rest of the world. So what happened to us was like when we launched our ingredients. So the largest, I think that the biggest barrier we had to face is regulations. So firstly, it's like we're based in Vietnam. Our product is made in Vietnam, and then there's also the similar fellow players in Europe and the US. So compared to the amounts of paperwork, the amounts of certification that they have to obtain, to what we have to do, I think we like 3 times, 5 times more approval that we need to get compared to the one in their local market. Even that our product performance is way higher, the specification in terms of food safety is higher, but we still have to like overcome those. And then when we get to the production certification level, then it's getting to like regulations on like between country and country, because at the end of the day it's still like animal origins product, so we have to get like governments, let's say national level of approval, that Vietnam have to send a dossier to Europe to get like Vietnam into the list of approval. We've done it all, but then the whole hassle to get the product commercialized is really big. And then the second thing we do is like with consumer mindset. There's a huge taboo. Even now with the new product that we launched, at the cricket cracker, it's not in the shape of cricket at all. But people say, oh my God, it's cricket. So it's really impossible for us to really understand the consumer at what point we need to trigger and so on. So the only thing we have to do is like put a lot of food engineering, a lot of food technologies in like fortifying the final product to make sure it's tasty, it looks good, it's flashy in the packaging, and it has to be sticky. So for us is that the technologies here is like apart from production side, like upstream production to get ingredient, but then we also have to invest into a lot of technologies to get into the downstream production in like processing technologies, packagings, and seasoning, flavoring, and then we also have a lot of tech in terms of like data analysis to make sure what we launch people like, and then there's a list failure opportunity or chance, not opportunity, like list failure risk that we have to face. So this is what the challenges that we do. I have the next questions. So everyone want to make a change. That is the whole purpose of Flavor Vietnam or any conference globally, domestically or anywhere. So we sit in the room, we hear people talk, and then people share their experience, and then outside of the room, people mingle, say hello, exchange contact. But I believe, personally, you might object or you might also like give me a vote on this, that to make a change, it has to be a whole cycle of collaborations. For our side, it's a collaboration between country and private sectors, MNC and small SME, technologies provider and technologies adopter. And for us right now, the gap is still very far to reach. In your case, in your experience, what are the expectations of collaboration, and what would be the best practice for collaboration that can make a change? Let's do more. I think you go first, Taku. You are very good with sharing.
I don't know. I think that the collaboration is always difficult because the party A and party B, they always have a different intention sometimes. So you need to be honest about what is your demand, and don't hide anything, and then everything put in a contract, right? Because I mean, when I see a lot of partnership doesn't work. After few months or 1 year, most of the partnerships actually disappear. So I think our shake hands is easy. Like I see a lot of MOU signing ceremony, whatever. But after the signing ceremony, more important is how they really realize that collaboration, I feel. And that's not related to tech, but I think it's related to what you need and what I need, and they just to be honest, and they just work hard as an organization. That's, I guess, yeah.
I think there's a point you say something about being honest and transparent. I think that angle is very important. So a quick sharing about our sectors. So starting from Western country like North America to Europe to Asia, all of insect company, we all think is that we have the best technologies in the world. And then if we open the door sharing our knowledge, someone's going to copy us. But because of that manner, because of that mentality, is that there are so many repeated mistakes in our journey. So we try to encourage people to open up with more collaboration, more talk, and real action work. But then I realized one thing is like asking also that too much for people, because sometimes it's like they invest like 1/3 of their investment into developing that technology. It's not that easy to really open up to everyone. And then everyone closes on and claim I'm the largest one, I'm the biggest one in the industry. But actually it's that they are the whole like grayish cloud over their head. A lot of problems that they can't solve, but the one already solved. So if we have very straightforward collaborations where give and take happening, that is the right manner, and honesty, I think it was the way to go. For your end, Tony.
So
why you want to ring Grab and Shopee Food and tell them about collaboration?
I'm thinking in another view on the culinary side of M&B and our tech as well. So basically, I want to have more trial, try fast, fail fast. So that's basically our model. Since we can open the virtual restaurant very fast and we can close it like immediately if we don't see the potential of the dish. So thinking about like we have very good partnership with like on platform. We have the comment, the feedback of the every time we launch the new sub recipe ingredient, so we can see the reaction of the customer right away. Mm-hmm. So we basically like every day we try the new one. Like we revamp the old one, we have the new one that we try. So for me, it's like that's the one like I want to do. Like because you invest a lot of money, but like that's the collaboration is that pre-doing, right? But after doing that, is that successful? So is that like the product is okay? Mm-hmm. So for me, I want to have like more chance to test our product, to test our dish to the market. So basically, I'm quite lucky when we have the support from on the food delivery platform to open the new brand. Basically, we are trying to open have more dish and react fast on the feedback from customer.
I think that is one of the biggest advantage of startup, where we can quickly move ourselves to fit in the situation, adjust ourselves, and of course it's like we cannot commenting on MNC or like large players where they are too slow to adopt technologies, because maybe it's like they want to be fast, but their operation doesn't allow them to do so. You have any input?
I think there is one example about collaboration. I just remember. So we build a whole supply chain and the warehouse and logistic team. We have like more than 100 shippers to deliver to be on time as much as possible. And this takes a lot of time to build this capability of warehousing and last mile delivery. It's been like 4 years building, right? And we recently opened up that capability to other brands. Let's say other brands want to enter into the Vietnam market. They are strong in other countries, but they are new in Vietnam. And they are looking for some of the partners who are storage and delivery to the customer from the very small MOQ, right? Because there is a lot of logistic companies they charge, but actually they require like 1 carton of order or something. However, most of the restaurants, they want to order 1 carton because they want to keep the space of the kitchen, right? So I recently worked with one of the biggest B2B supplier in Japan. It's called Gyomu Super. We show a little bit on the booth. From the November, we will start distributing everything for them, and we just charging some of the logistic fee, like a storage fee and the percentage of revenue. We revenue share, and that I think the perfect collaboration, because they have a lot of product which is very popular in Japan, and they believe in doing well in Vietnam. However, they don't have capability of branding and logistics as well, and we do have everything. So it's a perfect match of what I have, but what you don't have, and what I have, what you don't have, right? So that I think if we perfectly match that, I think it's a more clear sign of the success or scenario of the collaboration, I feel. Yeah.
And I think it's a very good example to share. So they said it's like we have only 3 minutes, but it was like 30 seconds ago, so 2.5 minutes. quick one. What would be the trend that you foresee in your sector, your sectors? And then allow me like 30 seconds to share mine.
So Vietnam still fully growing. So imagine like China, we have 2-digit market share, fully over F&B. Fully in Vietnam, it's just like more than 1%. So you imagine like will be 10x in the next several years. So that's one trend. Another trend is like in this event you can see a lot of fine dining restaurant, but that experience doesn't have in food delivery now. All the traditional food is still a lot major like share in food delivery. So you have a lot of chance to create the new dish with like very fast adoption in food delivery in Vietnam.
Oh, so I'm going to expect like food delivery like serving me with the ceramic service, stainless steel cutleries.
Yeah, for sure. So we have to stay there till we have enough customer, right?
Very good, very good. How about you, Taku?
I think of a trend, right? I'm maybe not about the tech, I feel, but I think most of my friends in F&B says right now, even though everyone macro data say it's very good, getting better, but in reality, it's not so good, I feel, for the short term, to be honest. But I think when I talk to the outside of Vietnam, what they see as Vietnam is very different view. A lot of countries around Vietnam, they are not growing anymore. And Vietnam, maybe we a little bit slow down compared to the last 5-10 years, but still growing. So now what I see is a lot of foreign brands is actually started to invest heavily in Vietnam. Only look at only Japan. I see 5 or 6 big brands, like billion company. They will start opening end of this year and next year. And that I haven't seen. But now I've started to see. And what they say is basically they don't invest for this year, next year. They invest for 10, 20 years later, right? So I think a more long-term play, I think it's work because Vietnam keep growing. I mean, if we look at the short term, maybe up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But I think most of the people who are in F&B, they are mostly the bet on the long term, right? So I think maybe sometimes a difficult day, but I think myself too, I try to be optimistic for the long term and to be successful on long term after 10, 20 years, what I can do now. I think that is things very important, and also that is very key to do differentiate from other people, because I think most of the F&B player is actually just caring about today, tomorrow, or this month, how much is the revenue. Right? But actually what we need to think more for the forward is actually what we can do, differentiate from others 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years later. And then we're going to be the leading player in the market, right? So hopefully, I mean, we can be a leading player in the market together. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so briefly from my end. So I think there's already like billions of dollars poured into the alternative protein market, starting from like lab-grown meat, plant-based protein, and also insect proteins. But then people now start to be knocked out. Is like the consumer might not be ready for that, or maybe like the downstream technologies are not ready for the consumers. So now there's a big trend of doing hybrid of like conventional protein source with the alternative protein. And then my takeaway would be the only way that we can move forward to the like sustainable lifestyle, where we have to harmonize the food options. So we have 7 days a week, 3 days a meal, harmonize what we're having. And that is the way moving toward the sustainable growth of our planet. So thanks a lot for our panelists today, and thanks a lot for your patience in the room. So thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.